I'd like to call to order the Avalon City Council meeting of October 18th. If we would please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. And begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You can be seated. And if we could have the roll call, please, Gabby.
Councilmember Lavelle.
Oh, I know she's trying to get on. Okay, let's try the rest of us.
Okay, Councilmember Schickling.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Ponce.
Here.
Mayor Marshall.
Here,
And Councilmember De La Rosa is absent for the record.
yes, and I believe Lisa will get on here the minute she can, so.
I'm here and just changing my
Oh, there she is. There she
settings.
is. Okay,
Thank you
great.
guys, sorry.
Well, she is here. Okay, are there any announcements or written communications?
Not from the city manager at this time, no.
Okay, anything from you?
I do. I have some key election dates for the November 8th election. October 10th, the LA County started sending out vote-by-mail ballots. Remember that October 24th is the last day to register to vote online or by mail. The Country Club will be the voting center for the election. The days and hours of operation are November 5th through November 7th, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. And on November 8th, the day of the election, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Remember, there's multiple ways on how you could return your ballot to the county. One would be by mail, no postage is necessary. 2, at any participating drop box location in LA County, and there's one outside our own Avalon Library. And then you could drop off or vote at any vote center in LA County as well. So that's a reminder for all the residents out there who may be traveling.
Yeah, oh, great, okay. Is that it?
Yes.
Okay. Department head reports.
Good evening, Bob Greenlaw, Director of Public Works. Good to be here tonight with you all. Got 3 items. So the lighting at Front Street. So the rope lighting at Front Street has reached the end of its useful life. So staff is evaluating a different type of lighting for the palm trees. It would be a hoop that would go around the palm trees, and it can be uplight the palm fronds and also the trunks.
Oh, sweet.
So we're evaluating, we'll bring that forward here soon, but it's pretty popular out in the Palm Desert area. You've seen them before, and so for the most part they'll stay on white, but during the holidays or seasonal activities we can change the colors on those too. So working on that, and then some painting projects that we're working with contractors on some mid-sized painting and rehab projects to procure the services for that. So that's the Casino Way arch that everybody's been asking for, and so the rehab and repaint of that. The harbor office repaint, that's getting very dingy compared to some of the other buildings that have been repainted recently there. And then the Serpentine Wall rehab and repaint, whereas the Public Works took that on 2 or 3 years ago with that first piece, but how to get that done throughout the entire community, you know, over like a program where we do it over a period of years, so we can keep on taking pieces of the wall on, making sure that we've got good stucco that's on there, that the paint will adhere to it with the right seal coats, because all we're doing right now, and has been done repetitively, is been putting kind of latex paint over paint that's peeling. And we, as you saw in that first piece we do, we need to bring it down to really back to the brick where it has the stucco coat over it. And then the third item is the mode shift. So the next scheduled activities for the mode shift study are 5 stakeholder meetings, and those are scheduled for October 24th through 26th. The stakeholder groups are divided in logical divisions such as transportation providers, okay? So our transit or the golf cart rentals, those type of providers, are the mole tenants, because that's a big piece of it. Now that we're bringing either goods or we're bringing visitors or islanders, and we're transporting them. And then entities such as the school, the hospital, utilities, those are all, so there's 5 different stakeholder groups. So here's some background just to give you what we sent out for the invite, so that some background of what we're trying to get done. So what we sent out is the core objective of this project is to identify strategies that will enable the city to develop a multimodal transportation strategy to reduce reliance on personal motor vehicles, enhance the city's public transportation services, and guide implementation of recommendations from the city's active transportation plan. The strategies and programs identified in this plan will focus on making non-vehicle alternatives readily available and convenient for Avalon residents and for visitors for a variety of trip types, while also considering the needs of local businesses. The community engagement component of this project will be critical, both to ensure that the feasibility study clearly identifies local mobility needs and to bring together key stakeholders who are anticipated to be partners in implementing mode shift initiatives. So that's what we're up to within this next short time frame ahead. We did also say that, I reported out that we had tentatively scheduled our community workshop for 10/27. We're moving that to somewhere in the range of the second week in November, because there was a conflict with the chamber mixer on that
Right.
October 27th. So once we confirm that date, and we'll get that information out.
That's citywide transportation, just not as it relates to the mall,
That's citywide transportation.
or flow, okay,
It's all those possible alternatives.
okay.
Any questions?
I just want to thank Jamie for the Public Works update on Friday.
Does a
and-
great job,
And
doesn't
I
he?
hope one day that you will bring some of those slides here.
Yes.
So people can actually see what's being done, because you drive down Pebbly Beach, you really don't, you see that you've done work there, but you can't really see what's been done. And all these big projects that you're working on,
Yeah,
It's-
and we
it's
can,
crazy.
we can get that out as part of our on our new web portal.
Right,
So those, and we can share those weekly so that they're available to everybody.
Yeah.
We transitioned from me doing it to Jamie doing it, and everybody puts into that, the
Yes.
information into that. Jamie's done a great job stepping up and even making it better than what I had, so I appreciate that.
I mean, I don't want to create more work, but it's, people really need to see, just like 206 East Whitley, those pictures of that sewer thing. I mean, there's just a lot going on. And then you go up to the warehouse and there's something going on there, and then the cemetery. I mean, so you're all over
Yeah.
all the time.
And that's just major pieces of it. We're
That's
actually
major
doing
stuff.
much more than that, but
I
we just
know.
want to share with everybody what we're doing.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's good. We'll do that.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Michael Alegria, Fire Chief. Let's see, let's start with code and the garage guys. They got rid of a whole nother trailer full of vehicles. That's a ton of work. They have to tag it, wait, get the pink slip, do the paperwork, and then they're finally able to get those vehicles out of here. So that's the second large trailer that they've gotten rid of so far.
Nice.
For stats in our September stats, since I was gone the last one, we ran 115 calls, 28 fire and 88 medical. We are at like 989 today, so we're gonna hit 1,000, which we've only hit 1,000. We're definitely on record for record-setting year again, because last year we were at like 1,032, but I see us passing that.
Sure.
And we have not been on as many fire alarms.
Oh,
It's been busy. We finished our EMT training with LA County Fire. They did some great scenarios for us today. So we finished that with Harbor and County Fire Reserves. So now that was 12 hours. Now we're responsible for another 24 hours, and we'll carry that on to next year.
Wow.
And that's it. I participated in the hospital strategic planning with you last night and got my questions answered today.
Good. And you were on the Norwegian, no, you weren't on the Norwegian Sun, it was Harbor Department. Didn't see it in a
Any
long time.
questions? Good?
No, thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Chief.
Good evening. For the Sheriff's Department, we had, between the periods of September 13th and October 17th, we had 136 calls for service and 113 self-initiated calls that were observations. During that time period, we ended up making 6 misdemeanor arrests, 2 felony arrests, 1 adult and 1 juvenile. 3 of those arrests were drunk in public, 1 was for trespassing, 1 was for unlicensed driver, and 1 was for felony assault, and 1 misdemeanor for domestic violence. We wrote 5 citations for various traffic violations and 1 parking citation. During this period, we obtained a new pickup truck. We replaced the old, I'm sure you've seen the old rusted bucket that we had on Sumner, and now we have a new to us truck there. So,
And the other one's going off the island?
I'm sorry, ma'am?
The old one's going off the island?
Yes, ma'am, that's already off.
Oh, great. Any questions of Lieutenant? Lisa, you good? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. You like to be last, don't you, David? You like to be last.
I've told David I don't like following him, so. Matt Baker, Finance Department. Just real quick, last meeting I spoke on revenues. August revenues were strong, up about 5% if you take the aggregate from last year, which was 40% above kind of the pre-COVID number, so that's definitely good news. Early reporting from September shows we're in line to match. Again, we're pretty early in the process, but of the people who've reported pretty strong numbers, so that's definitely good to see. And again, both of those are well above where we had estimated for the budget. We had our budget about 5 to 7% above the pre-COVID numbers, and we're hitting numbers 40% plus pre-COVID, so definitely good news. Other than that, I have auditors on site next week, so hopefully we'll be able to present the audited financials sometime in December, likely early January. Any questions?
No, thank you.
Matt, I just had one,
Oh,
sorry.
Lisa.
Just a question on how reserve funding is going, if we can get a report on that either next council meeting or with the auditor assessment, just to confirm kind of how reserves are being built back up and where we are in each of the different accounts.
Definitely, I can provide a preliminary kind of numbers on reserves at the next meeting.
That'd be great, thank you.
Yep.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. Just a reminder, this Thursday, we have the Fall Carnival going on from 5 to 9 right there on Front Street. We've basically brought down the school carnival to Front Street, as well as allowed other nonprofits to open up booths for games, as well as information, such as the Chamber will be there, Edison will be there. The main reason for this is to support our schools and our nonprofits. So there will not be any for-profit organizations down there. It's a place you can get your pumpkin from CKV, speaking of nonprofit. They're at the pumpkin patch and get pictures with the kids. We will have some entertainment, some live entertainment from Roger Conley doing the American Blues to our local street park boys who will be doing tricks on rollerblades and skateboards and bikes. And we have an aerial act called Cirque Lunaire, who also will be doing a fire flow show to end the night, which will be really exciting. I know Chief is looking forward to that. We have the 26th, next Wednesday. We have our prime timers Bunko and Potluck. And so there at 5:30, you'll come up to Tremont Hall. You can learn the game of Bunko for those who don't know what the game is. 6 p.m., we will share each other's favorite foods. And then we'll have a couple rowdy rounds of Bunko for our prime timers. You can sign up for that here at City Hall with me. And then on October 31st is our Halloween parade down Front Street. We will be giving out prizes to the kids for their most scariest costume, best superhero, best princess. We got about 6 or 7 that we'll be giving out. And then after the parade, we will be having the zombie walk right across the street at Avalon Kids Park. That is where they can come and they can get their free bag of candy from us. And we will have booths set up where they go in and they have mystery boxes where they feel crazy, ooky things. We have a superhero bouncy house. We've got zombie holograms everywhere. It's going to be a lot of fun. So come check that out. And it's for kids of all ages. I just want to make sure everybody understands that. And then we just launched our City of Avalon house decoration contest, Christmas decoration contest. If you saw it in the paper last week, we partnered with Avalon Smart Homes. They're our sponsors, and what they will be doing is, if you want to be a participant, you will go to the Avalon Smart Homes webpage, avalonsmarthomes.com/contest. You'll fill out a form there. And once you fill out the form, we will contact you and set up a date that we can take your picture of your home. So you can call to say you're participating, and then when you're done with the home, we will go out there and we will take a picture and also a video, because they now have animations, lights and stuff, so we want everybody to see what that would be. Each participant will get a lawn sign out front that says they are a participant of the holiday contest, as well as they will have a memorabilia ornament they can put on their tree to say they were a participant, as well as an ornament on the tree. That's one of them. And then they'll have a pin on the map that's on the web page. And so once everyone's on, you can go onto that map and see every home on that page. So if you wanted to tour it, you would have a map to go by to tour all the homes in the contest. The way you vote, so regardless if you're a participant, if you just want to vote, you would go to the Avalon Smart Homes Facebook page, and on there, that's where all the pictures will be posted and videos will be posted. And on the original post, you'll go there and you'll like the ones you like. You can like all of them if you like, but because it's on Facebook, you can only vote once, because you can only like once. And so the person or the participant, the house, the most votes, the most likes they get, that's how we will be judging the contest. So besides 3 or 4 people out there judging these, we're going to let the community judge the homes and pick the winners this year. And hopefully we're working on maybe doing some sort of tour of lights and tour those homes. That's in the work, but that's where we're at right now with that. Any questions?
So, and the other thing is then they share. If I'm registered to my house, I share, and then everybody shares.
Oh, yeah. And so if you're a participant, the smart thing to do is once it's posted, is to share it with everybody you know, so people can vote on your home. And we have some prizes for them, as well as they will get some glass ornaments to put on as second through fifth, and then first place is going to get this nice table ornament for their house. So,
And the houses need to be decorated by?
December 12th.
And then the voting closes?
Oh, wait, the voting closes December 12th, so you could decorate your house on December 12th, but you're probably not going to get a lot of votes. So the earlier you sign up, the more votes you're more likely to get. So the idea is we're trying to get people to sign up and put lights on their house as early as possible, so that way the town is lit up for the holidays and hopefully through most of December. It's our way of kind of encouraging that.
And Austin is going to be the one that's going to go around and take the pictures.
Yes.
So he's going to be scrambling there right at the end, so the sooner that
Yes.
people get him, he can get them on and get you out there.
Got it.
So,
And then there's going to be prizes for first, second, third, or just
First through fifth.
First through fifth?
first through fifth.
Oh, and do you know what the prizes are? Is it cash, gift certificates?
We will have all that figured. Right now, we have these glass ornaments that will have their placing in it, and so they'll have that, kind of like what we do for 4th of July.
Oh, okay.
When people win, it's amazing how many people just put that little trophy on their mantles, to kind of create a pride. But it's something that they can win year after year, and maybe after 10 or 15 years, their whole tree is covered in our ornaments. We think that would be wonderful.
Right? Okay, cool, thanks.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. A city manager report?
Thank you, Mayor. Just briefly, a couple things. I had the opportunity to visit with the mayor and some other people, the Norwegian Sun on Saturday. We got a tour of the cruise ship on their inaugural visit to Avalon. The mayor's holding the picture of the cruise ship up right now. It was appreciate meeting the captain and the crew. They were very courteous to us. It was enjoyable to get out there. Thank you to Jim Luchahan for setting that up. And exchanging plaques with them. Also, just want to give you an update on the DMV visit last week. They were here for half day Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or 2 half days, 2 full days. Last week, roughly the visit, they were able to schedule approximately 300 appointments with people, and they took another 80 walk-ins. So they were very efficient. They had the entire council chambers moving. They were able, after day 1, to recognize that they could take walk-ins, so they came to us and said, start putting it out there to get walk-ins up here, we can get them through, and they moved everybody through pretty efficiently. So thank you to them. They were very easy to work with, and they've already made their plans for coming back in April. In fact, we've agreed to house some of their equipment and some of their paperwork here so that it'll be easier when they come back in April. So thank you to everybody from the DMV for being out here. We really appreciate that, and I think it went very well. Other than that, I just wanted to mention and thank Bob Greenlaw for mentioning some of our, what I guess would be smaller improvement projects that we're working on, but those smaller ones tend to be the most visible. Those downtown, the painting, the cosmetic, the maintenance of those items. As the mayor pointed out, we have a tremendous amount of large projects that they work on that don't fully get noticed, but those that don't get noticed get a lot of attention. And I met with a number of residents that have expressed their concerns, so we are addressing that, and thank you to Bob and his crew for mentioning that and getting on that. So that's all I have at this time. Thank you.
Great. Does the city attorney have anything to report?
Just to note that the state legislature has completed its session, and there are a number of bills that require us to adopt ordinances. So you will see some increased activity at Planning Commission and Council as we adopt ordinance. The first one is going to be a total revision of the ADU or an update of the ADU ordinance, which will come to you, has to be adopted by January 1st, but there'll be more to follow. So just stay tuned.
Great, thank you very much. Okay, oral communication. This is an opportunity for people to speak on items that are not on the agenda. You will be limited to 2 minutes and no action will be taken. Take it away, Paul.
Hello, Paul Birchall, Avalon Library. Just wanted to say library's going strong. We have a lot of stuff right now. For example, we're signed up to do the In-N-Out Burger reading contest. Read 5 books, you get a coupon for a free hamburger from In-N-Out. Yes, I know, I've talked to people on the mainland, but there's no In-N-Out on the island. What I'm seeing is a lot of the folks come in, they read like 20 books, get 5 cards, 5 coupons, they go out and have a burger party next time they go over town. Why not? So that works out really well. I've got tons of free burgers, so come by, read 5 books, get your mom to sign it. It's good for kids, not for adults.
Oh.
Have mom sign. No, sorry, no burgers for you. Burgers for your kids, though.
Okay, great.
So yeah, get lots of burgers. I have piles of the cards. And I can't use them. It's against the law. But go on out, get your free burgers. Bookmark contest is still going very strong. Getting a lot of people at the school sending me their they're lovely pictures. I'm looking forward to inviting some of you guys maybe to be judges when the time comes. I'll set it up. Usually what I do is I put together a notebook, fold it over like this so you can't see who it is, and have everybody put a little ballot. We'll talk about that at the end of the month. I'm still doing Smarty Pants Story Time, our Saturday 11 o'clock story time. Nobody came last week. What was the matter? But I'm still doing them every week. 11 o'clock, I sing and dance. I got puppets, why not? Our very generous friends of the library group have given me a little financing to start bringing performers back to the island. Starting this, I would say, November 17th, I'm going to invite our old friend with Haynes Marionettes to give us a show called The Princess and the Pirates. Very fun marionettes. The last time they were out, pre-COVID, they did something at the Old Express Library on Metropole, and the place was mobbed. So I'm looking forward to that. Just a couple very quick things until my time runs out. I'm just going to talk till they say shut up. Design your own tote bag. I got a thing, we got a big box of blank tote bags and some fabric markers. So come on by, design a tote bag. I'm desperate to find people to come and go to our book club. I have 20 books on my shelf. It's Ella Reed Lloyd's The Club. It's a very cheesy thriller. It reads itself. It's so fast moving. And maybe 2 people have checked it out, and I'm a little worried that come the book club day, it's just going to be me sitting there blinking at people. So come on over, get a book. And just a couple other
What day is that? Sorry.
What's that?
What day is the book club?
That is going to be next Tuesday, October 25th at 6 p.m. And you don't have to read the whole thing. You have to read 20 pages, maybe. I don't care. I'll talk about the ending. I've read it. And just a couple last-minute crafts. I've got build a spooky snow globe coming up on the 21st. Just little spooky things in glass. No water. And a weave your own bookmark. I'm still waiting for that to arrive. It'll be here. That's going to be a November craft, November 10th. And what else? As mentioned, the vote by mail boxes are open outside the library. I checked. There's nice people who come from the Registrar Recorder's office. They seem to come by every week to empty the ballot. So no fear. Nobody's going to pour soda pop in there and ruin the ballot. That would be a vicious crime anyway. And yeah, so that's our library.
So, but we can go to story time. There's no age limit. Okay,
Yes.
good.
Come.
We don't have to read the book, he can read it to us.
Yes.
Okay.
One of the things I want to do someday is a sort of grown-up story time where we just hang out and read fun things.
We could give you stories.
I'll take it.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Just wanted to provide you a little brief update on some recent activity at Love Catalina. I am fresh off the boat, so to speak, back from attending the Florida Caribbean Cruise Association's annual conference. And we met there with all 5 cruise lines that are currently calling on us and discussed with them any concerns or issues that they are experiencing. And I'll have a full report in an upcoming meeting with the city manager to share in detail what we can do to improve upon both their experience and the visitor experience when coming here aboard a cruise ship. I attended the week before that the Cal Travel annual conference, where we met with several of our suppliers and made decisions on updates and new programs and ways that we can do even more exactly and more scientifically what we already endeavor to do. You heard Bob mention that there was a conflict for a meeting you were planning on October 27th. I'm happy to say the conflict is a public event. Everyone's welcome to attend a mixer at the Avalon Fire Department. If you would like to attend, you can RSVP at 310-510-1520. And we will be presenting our annual audited financials and fiscal year-end report to the council. I believe we're on the calendar for the second meeting in November for that. And our annual marketing conference will be held at 9 a.m. on November 17th at Catherine's Terrace. And among the presentations there will be a report from a company called Epsilon. who tracks visitor spending in market by folks who have, previous to their visit to the island, interacted with one of our digital ads or Facebook posts or things like that. So it's real spend versus the old school where you did an estimated spend. This is real actual credit card tracking. And we are planning, in cooperation with Carnival Cruises, one of the outcomes of FCCA, to host a fixer, or a meeting where you can learn how to do things better in your business, in November, to help island merchants and activities learn more about partnering with cruise lines for excursions and special offers. And it's been many years since we've hosted one of those, so timely to do so again. And we are in the final stages of producing the 2023 Catalina Island Visitors Guide. And related to that, every year we go about trying to compile a year-long calendar of events and get all of that, not only for the guide, but for our website and for advising the various organizations that come to us all the time. Is there anything happening on June 12th or what have you? And so we have that compilation. There's multiple ways you can tell us if you have an event set of dates confirmed in 2023. You can tell us now or as soon as they're confirmed down the road. You can email michelle@lovecatalina.com, or you can go to the events calendar on lovecatalina.com, and there's a form where you can input all the content for your event and even upload a photo. So we think we've made it fairly easy, but please do tell us. But speaking with Dave, we all get surprised. It's like we thought we knew everything that was going on the date, and then boom, there's another thing.
Yeah.
And then happily, you will hear later this evening that we are continuing to work with the city and Southern California Edison on water saving incentives. And that'll just be my little preview of what you're going to hear in a minute.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good.
Jim, was this a one-off with Norwegian, or are they going to be coming?
So there's nothing as far as an agreement for a recurring call. Right now, we're in this situation with Norwegian, as we have been for many years, where when a ship is on either a global or a seasonal reposition, that's when we're most likely to see it. But as a corporation, they are growing their fleet. They have several ships in build, and that will cause another global repositioning as those ships are launched. And there's a possibility that some other ships will end up doing West Coast itineraries. Norwegian was the very first cruise line to ever call on us, by the way, for trivia point. And it was a recurring call, kind of like our Carnival is now, way back in the day. But they have concentrated most of their ships as very large ships, and they have been primarily in Alaska in the summer, in the Caribbean in the winter, and Europe on a long basis. So there's lots of things having to do with the licensing and the size of those new ships as they come on, and they may or may not meet Panama Canal criteria, so we're watching to see. But I'm hopeful. I know you and several others in town are our brand favorite Norwegian, so, and it's a good demographic for us.
Because it was nice. It was nice to see them here. So
yeah,
it just
it's a very good demographic for us when they come here too.
Great.
Right.
Thank you. Any questions? Okay.
I have no comments.
No comments? Okay. We have a presentation by Southern California Edison.
Hi, good evening, everybody. I'm Tammy Tran, back again from Southern California Edison on behalf of Local Public Affairs. I come with a new team member and she just started yesterday, so this is day 2 on the job. And I wanted to make sure that she came here. In fact, she wanted to come here to really show our commitment to the island. Her name is Selena Luna, and as of last week she was with the City of Long Beach, Chief of Staff to one of the council members. So we feel very fortunate to have her join our team. Selena Luna comes with a lot of experience in local government across Orange County and LA County. She's worked in higher ed. She'd worked for the former or then council member Janice Hahn, now our supervisor, and previously for the City Council in Long Beach. So she brings a lot of experience, and we've told her that part of her responsibility here is to make sure that she makes Catalina one of her top priorities, and she has on her second day on the job. So
Great.
Selena Luna. And my daughter's here with me too, so she
Hi,
wants to say hello.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. Really excited to be here today and meet you. Really looking forward to working with you in the future. One of the things I also wanted to mention is I have extensive experience working with the California Coastal Commission from my previous role, so looking forward to partnering with you as well on that. Good to meet you. I'm sure we'll be meeting individually soon. Have a great evening.
Thank you. Welcome aboard.
Now it's just me, Luke Shaner, Senior Advisor, Southern California Edison. I am excited to be here to share an update on water. We are in stage 1. We were here last month. We'll be here next month. Tonight we have a slide on a new program that Jim previewed. Excited to tell you about. Then also where we are with water today, and then the last slide, what's coming next. So, moving to the recognition program. We know how stellar this community can be when called upon to conserve water and save the precious resource. We saw it in the last emergency drought, and we're seeing that we need to now exercise those actions again. So we want to spotlight that. And this program that we're rolling out here.
Wait, excuse me. Do you need to leave the room?
Oh. Sorry. You're right. Sorry, forgot.
Okay, sorry, Luke.
So we want to spotlight the community and their water conservation efforts, their activities. A lot of good discussions with Jim, with the city on how to put this together in a positive fashion and to progress it so that we continue to build it and have something to look at, kind of be able to create a log of history and share the story with others that come to Catalina and want to know how we're dealing with water challenges. So the best part, there will be a prize. And we appreciate the Love Catalina for helping, create that and create that certificate. So how does everybody get the prize? Conserve water and submit your nominations to catalinawater@scE.com. Submit whatever you think tells the story. I've outlined some of the things that might be relevant to capture that and put it into some key notes. Contact information of the nominee, the customer, resident, company, or a business. Any of those are eligible. It can be self-nominated. You just need to nominate once and we'll have it in the queue. Identify the actions that save water. If you have an estimate of how much water it saves, how often this happens on a weekly basis, it could help us calculate some neat metrics. Where does this occur? Is it in Avalon, the interior? Is it a residence? Is it a business? When did we first start this? How often do we maintain these habits? Is it only in stage 1, only in stage 3, throughout the year? And what's the impact? What impact do you feel? Do you observe? What are the lessons learned? What's the satisfaction guaranteed? And how do you go about doing it? These are challenging things that we call upon to do to conserve water. So what helps us do it, helps us cope, helps us achieve it. And by sharing the stories, we hope that others could be inspired and could also see opportunities with things they do. Optional to provide photos. Photos tell 1,000 words. And what we foresee happening, hopefully everybody's excited to be part of this inaugural event coming up, wants to be that first person that gets the certificate. We might need to enlist David Hart here to amplify it. Submit those and we'll get those submissions in a hat, get it over to the city, get it over to the chamber, and look forward to announcing and sharing that information in future meetings.
So there's really nothing that, or is there something in here where it says this is how much water we saved, or you can verify the water savings?
Correct. Yep, that's why we're intaking it, and I'm trying to get the information in there so we can calculate that, but then also call back and help validate.
Okay. And how long is this going to happen? How long?
We'll go until we run out of nominees.
Till you run out of
water?
water?
So I'm hoping we do it throughout stage 1. If we have to go into stage 2, we're identifying better habits, other habits. So we want to bring it in as part of our routine update here.
And they will be shared how?
What we anticipate doing is whoever is awarded will bring that information to the next city council update. We'll have a name, we'll have a certificate, and we'll have a couple bullet points on how much water they're saving and what they're doing.
It's a small prize kind of concerns me.
What's that?
How small is this prize?
How small?
I mean, could they get
2
months not having to pay your water bill?
I don't have that kind
now
of
we're
authority.
talking.
Okay, I'll take it back to the opportunity board. But where we're starting is the Love Catalina identified a Catalina gift certificate, and so that's what we're
worth
starting.
a year's worth of water.
It's $20 You are the big winner.
Well, I definitely encourage people to conserve. I'm hoping this has some success. It's a valiant, I think it's a valiant effort. We'll just do our best.
We'll see what happens.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, thank you.
Yep, and appreciate the feedback. We'll try to build it into a productive program as best we can.
Okay.
So where are we today? I did just see an updated reservoir level go out. As of yesterday, 463.7 acre feet, 44% capacity. We did see September not achieve any reduction. I mean, it was very warm out. That's not surprising in a lot of people visiting the island. So we are at 0% after 2 months. We have a 15% target. Hopefully we could continue to go towards that and achieve progress towards that in the off season here. And we still have the stage 2 forecast with persistent drought conditions happening in the summer of next year.
So how much, okay, knowing that we're going into November, it automatically drops by so much. Do we know what that percent is?
We have, historical information on
Because,
those
I mean,
trends.
that could be 15%. We don't have visitors, right? I mean, without people doing anything. I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm just saying you come back and you say we reduced 15%, but really we didn't, it's like we didn't do anything to reduce 15%. It was just because we don't have the visitors and we don't have the hotel rooms and we don't have the laundry washed and all of that. So it'd be interesting because, again, hotels are automatically going to go down, but I don't know as residents if you can say what that is.
Well, but it's 15% historical though, right, Luke? It's not
Yes.
15% from what we're using. It's 15% off of what the historical usage in November was. So it already accounts for the fact that that drop is there. I mean, I think the program that they just presented provides a really great way to both get braggy pants and judgy in a good way about what your neighbors are doing and seeing people doing good to try to conserve water. And so how you manage to do that or how you figure out how to do that, I'm assuming with the warmer weather right now that we're going to see actually increased numbers and worried that it's going to take an extra amount of conservation to reach 15% off of the normal because the visitor count is higher, the occupancy rate for hotels is higher. All of those things add up, right? So.
That's a good point. The 15% target, it's a target, and it is based on what we observed during stage 1 last time. If you look at the 18-month or however many months it was, and what it did to the baseline period before that, it roughly saved 15%. But most of that savings came towards the tail end, and probably not so much in the initial months.
Okay. Yeah, I totally agree about trying to get ahead of the ball game because next summer's going to come awfully quick, and we sure don't want that to happen.
Yep. And that kind of transitions us into the next slide on what we're doing now. So desal, fortunately, I mean, the water demands are higher than they've been, but fortunately desal has also been higher than it's been to help offset that and want to maintain that momentum. Looking at the next phase of enhancements, happy to report we provided the latest transmittal to the California State Lands Commission on September 30th. And with that, we expect imminently a notification of a complete application, and that puts the next milestone at February of next year for a State Lands Commission hearing for the project, and then March of next year for a California Coastal Commission hearing for the project. So we'll continue to keep eyes on those milestones and progress towards them.
And that's for the deep water well? That's the deep water well as well?
This phase 1 enhancements is a third saltwater well, minor modifications at the plant, optimizations, and then a 4th storage tank in Falls Canyon.
Okay.
In terms of policy updates, so there's some opportunities within the policy to make stage 2 more flexible, and so we're actually looking to share more information on that in the upcoming updates, so November and December. And so that's been mentioned earlier, where opportunities to scale back rationing for customers connected to desal, where desal capacity is there, and having that flexibility compared to other systems that don't have as much desal access or resilient water supplies. And third here on conservation, so we mentioned the recognition opportunity. I appreciate Councilmember Lavelle. It's trying to find some positive way in recognition, not just the critique and the negatives. But we will step up the field presence for outreach and enforcement. We're training our meter readers so that they're aware of those, so that they could bring back information, and also some additional people to have a field presence and patrol. Don't want to be that water cop, but want to provide that outreach so people are aware of the restrictions and can follow them. And then lastly, the SCE Reach Code Department is preparing red lines for the city to review, and these red lines target water conservation updates to municipal code. So things that CalGreen does and things that Cambria does and others do. So we want to target those and propose those to the city to consider. So as development occurs in the future, it could help reduce water demands. And that concludes the update.
Any questions or comments?
I have no comments.
Okay. Thank you, Luke. Thanks, Selena, Tammy, and Annalise. Oh, and I just went straight through council member reports and mayor report, didn't I? Michael, you didn't correct me.
No, I didn't, because you just went straight to presentations.
Well, we want to hold them up. They can go out to dinner or something. Okay, let's go to council member reports, please.
I'll go real quick. I just want to add to David's comments about DMV. Thank you for the text that they were taking walk-ins. I was impressed that I got here. 45 minutes later, I was out.
Wow.
They were right on. I mean, the line wasn't long. The wait sitting to get up here wasn't long. Having to take a picture was not fun, but it was very well managed and everybody followed along. I mean, it's a better atmosphere here than having to go over there. I just have to remember to cancel my appointment over there. But yeah, it was a good experience. So happy that they're getting ready for April, because it's a service that is desperately needed here. So I just wanted to add on to that because I thought they did an amazing job.
That's it.
Well, let's see, I don't have a lot to report. I appreciated the invite to see the new cruise ship, but I had to decline because I went over town to watch Hamilton. 6-row seats, no. And I want to give a shout out to the Public Works crew too, because I had a meeting with the city manager and I was talking about the trash that people dump at various places. And I showed him one picture that was just absolutely horrible, right by the cross by Mount Ada. And the person that showed it to me, the Public Works went out and they cleaned it all up and it was beautiful. And she just texted me and she goes, "Oh my God, I don't know what the hell you did, but thank you."
Yeah.
So thank you very much. And I've got some ideas for ongoing for trash stuff for the partiers and stuff. And I'll chat with you at our next meeting about that. Let's see, looking into the Garibaldi, see how we can make that a real bus system. Because it's right now, in my opinion, it's kind of just a tourist bus. So I looked at that, so I'm diving into that. And
And so, hey, Jennifer, but that goes along then with what Bob's talking about, those meetings that he's going to have.
Right. So I was encouraged to hear that. So yay. And let's see. I think that's about it. I'm looking forward to the carnival. I'm going to buy my pumpkin and support CKV, and I will be manning the Edison booth with shower heads and whatever we're giving away and all that kind of stuff, and trading off playing with my granddaughter. So hope to see people down there.
Yeah. Lisa?
Just a couple of items to report back on. One, I attended the Gateway Cities COG board meeting. Metro is working on the I-710 corridor, which extends all the way up to the downtown landing. And so if you have any input for changes you would like to see along that corridor in terms of transportation, there is a website that you can go to, and actually a really great interactive map where you can add details. The website is metro.net/CITY 710-hub, H-U-B. And the map allows you to pinpoint exactly where you would like to see changes made and things that you think would be beneficial from a Metro standpoint. Some of the things that I added to that map include seeing if they can extend the Metro Blue Line right up to the terminal and allowing for people to have access from the different parts of the Metro system right up to the boat, or for us to have access to use that and get to other places throughout Long Beach and LA easily without having to transfer through multiple vehicles or take a taxi or Uber from Pine and First to the boat when we have a lot of stuff with us. And then also looking at how the current system that the Express operates on behalf of Metro for the harbor boat is utilized. I don't know if anyone still utilizes that from the island very much. I've used it a few times to get over toward the Belmont Shore area and past downtown Long Beach via boat if you're taking transportation. It's a really cool way to go. It's also a great, fun date idea. Grab a cocktail, do a little harbor cruise, have a good time. So if you have any suggestions for anything like that, especially for college students to make commute or people who are having to go back and forth every week for appointments, there's some great ideas out there. A lot of it has to do more with how they increase access along the 710 corridor itself, but I think connecting some of those major systems to the boat terminal can make it a more easily accessible place and reduce a lot of traffic that you see in downtown Long Beach from us and from people moving in that area. They had put a date limit on that originally of the end of this month. However, they did say in the meeting that because of the amount of feedback they were hoping for and are getting and or not getting, that they will be extending that comment time. So please go on when you can. Again, it was metro.net/710-hub. And then was in Vegas for a conference and had some really, it's a ticketing and travel conference called Arrival, and had some really interesting conversations regarding the expectations of where travel and tourism is going over the next 2 years, what the recession could or could not look like, and things of that nature. So that was just part of my comment with regard to asking about reserves and wanting to make sure that we're in a good spot. I think a lot of people are planning, hoping for the best, and I think Catalina luckily has some level of protection with regard to recessions, but hoping for the best and planning for not so much the best. So just being mindful of that as we move forward with budgeting process and review. And then received a call from Julia Jones of CNN just asking about the city's water initiatives and other systems. They are already in touch now with Edison and the chamber, and hopefully will be on the island in the next few weeks, maybe either before or after the election, to do part of a series studying water in the Southwest. So we'll hopefully be a part of that conversation as well. And then upcoming before next meeting, I don't think I have anything else too major. Congratulations, the high school girls volleyball team won their game today, so they're moving on in CIF playoffs. It sounds like the game will be on Thursday. It sounds like it will likely be over town, but got to attend this senior night. They have 7 seniors on their volleyball team, so that was really fun to get to participate in. And then just wanted to welcome back Jazz Tracks. 35 years is amazing for anything to keep going on in terms of events, and it was really cool being on the boat coming home on Thursday evening, which normally a Thursday evening boat would be mostly locals, and to have it be a full, almost completely sold out boat on a Thursday in October is encouraging to see, and grateful to have them back in town. So I think that's what I've got for now.
Great, thank you. And Edison lined up for me to meet with some people from the KBS, it's Korean Broadcasting Service. They're kind of the CNN of Korean broadcasting. And so we came to City Hall and we did I discussed your chart that you have and how that works and how that's a good indication to people and how we used to have it downtown as well. And I don't know if you have one to put downtown like you used to. Also, I did a little video today celebrating the 90 year of the Long Beach Dental Health Clinic, and it's 24 years since it's been here. So they have in the gala, I wasn't able to attend, so we did a little video. And schools having their annual PTA calendars where you buy a calendar, and for $1 you can put a listing on somebody's anniversary, birthday, death, military service, whatever. And these are in, I have some at City Hall up on the deck. That's it for now. Okay. Consent calendar.
Thank you, Mayor, for the consent calendar tonight. We're seeking approval of the minutes from October 4th, 2022 regular council meeting. Approval of the warrants, total expenditures for September 26, 2022 through October 7th, 2022, totaling $792,843.95. Resolution approving and adopting an amended Conflict of Interest Code pursuant to Political Reform Act of 1974. We have before you a master facility use agreement, asking council to authorize the city manager to execute a master facility use agreement with Long Beach Unified School District and Avalon Schools. And that's it, those 4 items.
I need to abstain on item 1.
Then I'll make a motion to approve items 2, 3, and 4.
I'll second.
Call for the vote.
Councilmember Lavelle?
Aye.
Councilmember Schickling?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Ponce?
Aye.
Mayor Marshall?
Aye.
4 ayes, 1 absent. Councilmember De La Rosa.
And then you'll make a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve item number 1.
Perfect.
Second.
Oh, go ahead.
Councilmember Lavelle?
Aye.
Councilmember Schickling?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Ponce?
Aye.
Mayor Marshall?
Abstain. Okay, item number 5.
Okay, under item number 5, we have a appeal of a decision of the vehicle hearing officer. That decision being a denial of a request for an oversized commercial autoette. At this time, we would be asking council to open a public hearing, receive public comment, close the public hearing, and then consider the applicant's appeal and determine any of those 3 options, which is either uphold the decision, overturn the decision, or modify the decision. We do have Devin Hart here tonight, who drafted the staff report, who would like to briefly address that to make sure council fully understands what's before you tonight. Thank you.
Good evening, City Council. On May 19th, 2021, John Jackson, on behalf of Eagle Electric, submitted an application for a new commercial autoette permit. At that time, he already had a commercial autoette permit, but as he was getting a new vehicle, and also as it was over the length limit for an autoette, the city clerk advised him, or the city vehicle clerk advised him to go before the vehicle hearing officer, excuse me. There's a delay on the, video, so I ran back here. The application was considered by our vehicle hearing officer on August 19th, 2022. And as per our municipal code, there's no actual category for an oversized autoette. His application was denied. He submitted a timely appeal on September 15th, 2022. Our municipal code allows for 9 different types of vehicle permits. An autoette, though, is defined in size as a vehicle that does not exceed 130 inches. Any vehicle or any mode of transportation that is larger than 130 inches, our recommendation would be to call it a regular vehicle. So, because there's no commercial autoette, a commercial oversized autoette permit, if it was the vehicle hearing officer's decision that if Mr. Jackson, on behalf of Eagle Electric, would like to move forward with this permit, that it would be a commercial vehicle that he would need. In which case, at this time, our commercial vehicle list is 200 people long, and Rocio confirmed for me that we were right in the group of people that had applied in 1993 is where we are in terms of issuing those permits.
Okay, let's open the public hearing. Thank you. Open the public hearing. Is there any public comment?
I have no comment.
Okay. And just for clarification, after Mr. Jackson is through, if when we start talking about it, if we need to ask him a question, may we?
I would believe so, yes.
Okay, all right.
Okay, yeah, the little vehicle, it's a gem. You see tons, like at least 20 of these things around town. They're a little electric vehicle. It's just 8 inches too long is the problem. I could take off the bumper and shave it up, make it like fit, but I don't really think that's the big problem. The problem is width, as far as I can see all the other vehicles, and it's just, you know, I have overnight parking. It's efficient. I can't see. I've had these little trucks, and they just keep breaking all the time. They don't have. I can't get parts for them, and you know, they're not made in any good way. So I don't know. This is a little gem. It's a Polaris gem. It's I don't know. I have little pictures of it. It's nice. I don't know what else to say. I mean, I don't know why. I just don't fit into this little category of, you know, if it's autoette or oversized or whatever, but it's just a nice little car, nice little truck.
I appreciate the fact that you haven't brought it to the island first.
No, I tried my best. I got it thinking that I see a lot of them around town.
Yeah.
And I hear this word, they're grandfathered in. I don't know how to go about it, but I think I'm going about it the right way. It's a nice little car. I don't know.
Okay.
That's it, pretty much.
All right, thank you. If there's no further comment, we'll close the public hearing. I guess I'll start. I happened to go to that hearing just coincidentally because there were a number of things were on it. And it's interesting what the hearing officer says. He goes, you know, but I just have to stick to what the code says, and that's all that he can do. So he's doing that very thoroughly. I was appreciative on all of the ones that were being heard that day. But I find a young man who's had a business here for how many years now? 10 years, does an excellent job. I agree to get those little porters and all of those off the street. I think it's wonderful. This is an electric vehicle. There are currently a number of those little Polarises on the street that people are, you know, we could say local people don't even need to have those, but they have them. So I would like to make a motion that we overturn the decision of the vehicle hearing officer, because I don't know what modifying the decision would mean. I don't know what we would modify, so if it's just, we just overturn it, it would be much easier. Devin, can you have any insight into what modifying it would mean?
I mean, if I could.
Oh, okay.
Just from the standpoint of, you know, sitting in a decision or an appellate decision or appeal decision of what's already been decided by the hearing officer, I didn't know you would generally have the opportunity to modify, for example, put conditions on it or, you know, regulations on it that otherwise the hearing officer does not have. So that's why it's an option for you. It doesn't mean you have to modify that. It's just.
That's an attorney talking.
Well, I mean, for example, if the applicant said I don't have off-street parking,
right,
maybe that could be a condition to modify because the hearing officer didn't get to that point.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Or if that it's otherwise valid, it's licensed, those type of things.
Right. Yeah, I like the fact that he does have off-street parking. I really don't want him to have to take the bumper off and modify a vehicle. I don't think that's good for the integrity of the vehicle.
My issue is if we allow this, then we're going to start allowing it for everybody else. It's going to open that door, and we say this every time we're going to modify something, that it's not, and it does. We end up modifying. We modified and grandfathered all the ones that were here because they were here. And people will still continue to try being something here that's not supposed to be here, and then come back and ask us to modify the ordinance.
Well,
and I can see modifying the ordinance But right now, just allowing somebody to have that will just open the door that everybody else is going to start bringing theirs over and coming for that approval.
But, so this is for commercial
Yeah.
use, and Jackson, you're just gonna use this for work, you're gonna go to the site, and then you're gonna park it off-street, and so the ones that were grandfathered in, if I understood the many pages that were provided to us, most of those were residential, personal vehicles. So in my opinion, I think something like this is good because look at all the giant full-size trucks, a lot of, you know, the plumbers, electricians, I mean, so this is gonna be smaller than that, but it's necessary for him to do his job. And I used to own a Porter, and I know those things are a pain in the butt. So I didn't know we could actually overturn it, but I don't think it would be setting a bad precedent to allow him to have this vehicle.
Okay, now the city attorney wants to pipe in.
Okay.
Well, if I could just speak for the hearing officer, the view is that the code doesn't allow this. And so if we allow this, that would essentially be allowing this person to get a commercial vehicle when he's actually he would be cutting the line for a commercial vehicle just by buying a large autoette and calling it an autoette. And so the concern is that if we allow this, that those people in line will then say, well, if you've done it for this person, I'm just gonna buy a big autoette and you have to do it for me. We did look at this in terms of how these vehicles got here in the first place. The ones that had been grandfathered in, and a lot of them were vehicles that people had a permit and then they got another vehicle and didn't go through the right process. But what the council did about 2 years ago was lengthen the permissible length of an autoette permit from 120 to 130 and say no more. And so, yes, you have the power to do this. It would be outside of the municipal code. It would be kind of like a justice for this applicant. But the only concern is there that that other people who are on that commercial the commercial permit list may come in and say, I want a commercial permit, and I'm gonna just, because I have an autoette, I'm able to cut the line. So that was the concern of the hearing officer.
So I would be curious, number one, of those people that are currently on that commercial list, how many are really dogging us all the time because they really want it? And number two, he can validate his business, and he has been operating as a business, and it's electric, and he has off-street parking. So if we put all of those same, because I think some of this vehicle stuff needs to be looked at again, but I definitely hear what you're saying, Michael, but however, I think the fact that he's been in business for 10 years, he didn't go out and try to sneak in a full-size vehicle like somebody did, comes on over with a full-size truck for his business with no regard to what the city has on the books. So I still kind of hold my ground on this one, but.
So, Devin?
When in reviewing the list today, there are a number of names that you could maybe take off the list because they've moved off the island or passed away, but there were still about 150 strong, and it's everything from retail stores to contractors. There's lots of contractors. There's a plumber in town who works out of an autoette, but is on a commercial vehicle waiting list. So it's a significant list, and it's the gamut of trades.
It would be nice to send out letters to those folks and see what returns and what does not. And if they don't respond, just cross them off. We should do that
with the list. We hit that process as soon as a permit becomes available, and then Rocio starts her way, from back to 1993 portion of the list and clicks through those names at that time, rather than maintaining going through the process of updating all 200 names every year or so. She just goes and hits it right at.
But it seems like you could, right off the bat, if you send out one letter to all of those, you could get rid of a lot of them right off the bat, shorten that list, and then, because that list is so old, just a thought, recommendation.
So there's a finite number of commercial stickers available?
Yes, ma'am. It's a similar process for the blue stickers.
Oh, okay. And what is that number?
I don't know the total number off the top of my head.
Oh, okay. Just curious.
Well,
I think I have the same or similar concerns to Michael in that the way the code is written currently and the way the vehicle officer decided is with what the code says. My hope that we had been able to get to previously when we discussed this was to really dig into the entire vehicle code, because there was an unofficial study done of measuring curb space parking and how that is being used right now or not. There were surveys done just before Vaughn's was done regarding how the parking flow for that space in the old space and the new parking lot would work and if it was sufficient enough or not. I think that the entire code itself continues to be somewhat piecemealed, and decisions are made based on what someone is asking from us at the time of the ask. And so then we say, oh, well, we'll do this and we'll grandfather these, and we'll do this and we'll grandfather these. If the goal ultimately, and this is where I would be in favor potentially, but may ask for some time to see if we can figure this out, is to have cleaner vehicles that eventually would run off of electricity and not gas. That would, it's hard because our electricity still runs off of diesel, so that's kind of annoying, but it's a better, cleaner process than the gas-fueled vehicles that we have now, especially the older ones. The noise level is better with these vehicles. Having something that operates safely and provides enough space for those who are using them to have them in use. All of those things are valid points, and I understand Mr. Jackson's need for those, and I appreciate that. I do think if we were to approve this, and this is where, I have to apologize because I hate having to deny things, but I apologize that we don't have a code that matches that need now and provides the need now. It's challenging to have to enforce what's currently there. I'm wondering a couple of things based on comments made this evening already, because it feels like we might be split in half and don't have a fifth person to make that call anyway. So 2 questions would be, 1, if we can look at continuing this to have a full council to be able to make this decision for Mr. Jackson so that it's not an immediate no and we can go through that. But 2, would the council be open to reviewing what the current code looks like and actively working to make it better than it is right now? And I don't know how long that process would take necessarily, but the fact that we're saying it's a matter literally of inches for vehicles and approval, especially as we get into the space of having certain vehicles fit in spaces and certain vehicles not, it feels more like a parking layout and approval issue, where maybe we find that we need to actually put more restrictions on new vehicles coming in and or other things. But it makes sense to have this vehicle, but it just doesn't make sense with this current code.
Okay, let me ask another question of Mr. I hear what you're saying, and the vehicle thing will take months. There'll be public hearings, it's gonna take months and months. But if you this is to Mr. Jackson, if you cut off the 8 inches just to get it here, is that something that could be put back on at a later date if we change the code? I'm sorry, I'm going to have you come up to the front. I hate to see.
I'm sure it could. I don't know. I don't have the vehicle here. I haven't been looking at it to decide. Yeah. They've mentioned that we could do something like that, but I don't know what kind of damage it would do to it. I don't know.
Might you want to just ask that question, because I'm kind of agreeing with Lisa to hold it over when we have a full council, and maybe the vote would go better for you. I have no idea. and Devin is standing behind you.
Well, if I just clarify, removing 8 inches only makes it 140. It still is 10 it's still
over the.
That was my point of clarification.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the vehicle proposed is 146 inches. Our municipal code allows for 130. So it's a 16-inch differential.
Okay. We have Captain Alegria on here.
I just wanted to jump in real quick for code and with Rocio. I could tell you, I only caught part of this, and then Scott's right, there's a list. I think we have to follow it, kind of jumping ahead. But there are so many vehicles right now that are over here that if we allow one, we're gonna have a bunch at the next meeting. Well, I need this, and I'm gonna have an electric truck, and I'm gonna have this. There are so many vehicles right now that don't fit, like Lisa had said. ATVs or all-terrain vehicles. There's a bunch of them that we're going through a process right now, so I don't think allowing this one right now would be a good idea. We're trying really hard to make some adjustments, and I'm sorry it is going to take time, but we're trying to clean up a lot of things, and allowing all these other ones is something that we hope that you don't allow.
Okay, any other questions of our captain, fire chief? Thank you for coming on. Okay.
I would make a motion to hold this over to the next meeting to allow for that discussion to take place with the full council, if Mr. Jackson is amenable to that. And my only other question would be, is this a vehicle that's already been purchased? Or is it a vehicle that your company's purchasing? Like, what is the standpoint of that? I appreciate you coming up here and appealing this and trying to find a solution that works for everybody, but just wanting to see where you are in that process so we have an idea of that.
Yeah, we have already purchased the vehicle. I got it in thinking that they were all over here already, so I didn't think there was a problem. But yeah, it's been purchased. It's sitting there waiting to come over here. That's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, well, she made a motion to hold it over. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Call for the vote.
Councilmember Lavelle?
Aye.
Councilmember Schickling?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Ponce?
Aye.
Mayor Marshall?
Aye.
4 ayes, 1 absent. Councilmember De La Rosa.
Thank you, John. Item number 6.
Item number 6 is for council consideration of a transportation permit by Daniel Mello, DBA Catalina Island Golf Cart Tours. Council is to discuss and provide direction to staff. If consensus to approve is reached, make the affirmative finding that the criteria set forth in Avalon Municipal Code Section 5-14.04 has been met.
Okay. Then the applicant is in the room. Thank you, Danny. I'm glad you're feeling better. So there was kind of, I don't know how much we talked about it, but we have been aware of this since the meeting that you weren't able to be here, so that's great. Does council have any comments?
Yeah, I just had questions. Thank you, Danny, so much for coming. Wanted to give you a chance just to answer questions. The major question that I had was just the parking, off-street parking, and where that would be located.
Well, it was pending approval of the council, but I have several options. My dad has a garage. Island Company is an option. I don't know if there's still spots at the Field of Dreams, but off-street parking is definitely covered.
I think we would like to know that what exactly it is
Well,
going
that
to
would be that would be a condition of approval.
Oh, okay. So we will have to know where it is at some point before you start.
Would I be able to kind of double dip with? I don't have an auto wet permit, so I was going to get a golf cart regardless, limo golf cart for personal use, and I'd use
And
that
where
also.
would you have put that? What is your residence in Avalon?
314 Whitley.
Okay. Okay. I think these tours are very good for the community. I like them, and I like it that, well, still all the golf carts are rented, but it's nice to see that at least the people that are driving them know where they're going. I don't have a problem with approving this, but I would only like to give you one golf cart to start. I don't know why you would need two to begin with.
That's all I applied for.
It says, where did I see two? The
Said,
operation plans to include, it says use of 2 golf carts, both.
In the report, it does say 2.
It does say 2?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
But you just want to do one?
I just need one. I can only drive one at a time.
Yeah.
Would you be leading the tours?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I really think the off-street parking has to happen because I live on Whitley and I know Whitley is just jammed, packed.
Sure.
Right. So that, yeah.
So I should buy if I would like a personal golf cart, I should buy a separate one?
Well, what the other people kind of started out with was their own vehicle, so weren't increasing the number of vehicles on the road. But I guess that's your prerogative if you want to buy another one.
Already, right?
Go ahead, Lisa, were you saying something?
Oh, sorry, Annie. I think most of them had commercial vehicles already, or for commercial vehicle for autoettes with the hearing board when they got them. I think the 2 of the companies had commercial vehicles already, autoettes, and utilized those, and had off-street parking already for them. And then the 3rd one, I believe they were getting a new golf cart in addition to their personal golf cart, and were using those, I believe, for the, is that correct? Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, sorry.
So they use their personal and their, but if they really, because they have to provide us with insurance, correct, as it's additionally insured, but if you have your own personal one, you don't. So do we want to automatically, I would just assume just having do one to start with, and what he does with his personal one and however he does that is up to him, and then come back if business is booming or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I think that's what they did. They went to the hearing officer to increase their fleet.
And so the limo golf carts are 130 inches? Okay. Keep that in mind. You just heard all that.
Absolutely. A limo with the drop-down footrest.
You know, those...
That's not legal anymore, is it?
I don't think...
Unless
Go ahead,
they're
Devin.
grandfathered in.
Yeah, the limos with the drop-down footrest are legal, and they do meet the 130-inch threshold.
Okay.
And then the 2 businesses that are currently in operation, I know there's 3 on the staff report, but there's only 2 active permit holders. They both use 1 residential autoet permit and 1 commercial autoet permit for both businesses.
Okay.
So I have no problem with him having his personal, using that
Right.
and parking. If it was going to be a commercial one, then definitely off-street.
But the minute he's using it for business, it's commercial. If he's going to use both of them, they're 2 commercials.
Yes, but it will be under his resident autoet permit. So as a residential autoet, it can be parked on the street, and when he uses it for commercial use, he's still required, per the terms of our transportation permit, to carry insurance and have permission to drive commercially on Island Company roads and all the other standard conditions.
Okay. Well, then I make a motion to approve 1 commercial autoet for guided tours with the standard list of conditions.
I would second that, and just as long as the off-street parking is confirmed prior to approval. Like, it's conditional of the approval to have the off-street parking confirmed.
Just to be clear, you guys tonight are approving his transportation permit. If he would like a commercial autoet permit, he would take, after he gets the transportation permit from you, that recommendation to the vehicle hearing officer, and they would make that determination. But tonight, you guys are just determining whether or not he's permitted to take passengers for hire.
Oh, okay, thank you.
It's it's not the golf cart, it's the transportation. Yeah.
Okay, I make a motion to approve.
But I think Councilwoman LaBelle's request for modification was that a condition of getting this permit that the autoet, whatever the characterization, has to be off street.
Right.
Correct.
So just for clarification, if he has a, Scott, if he has a residential autoet permit, you would require that he uses his residential cart off, parks it off street?
That can be a requirement as a condition of approval if that's what the intent was. Because he's asking for something he's not entitled to, which is to use his personal vehicle for money. So you could condition that as a way of reducing on-street parking.
That was the goal. It was just knowing as Mary mentioned, the impact of parking already in the area where the applicant is currently living, and wanting to ensure that this does not negatively impact that area because of it for the sake of commercial use.
Michael's thinking his brain is.
Yeah, because Michael's thinking he can go out and get a golf cart, personal golf cart, and park on Whitley because he's eligible to have a personal golf cart and park on Whitley at any time. Why would he have to have off-street parking to do tours?
Because
The only reason why I was suggesting it was because the other applicants have been required to have off-street parking as part of this. If we're adding another vehicle to the island, it's not a vehicle that's already here. I was just trying to mitigate that.
Just the point of clarification, the two businesses currently in operation each have one residential golf cart. So like local tours, Sarah Mintz has a golf cart that's registered to her person that she uses for tours, but that one has a residential sticker, so it parks on street. In addition, she has a commercial autoet permit, and that one is required to have off-street parking. So they're one in one, both businesses.
They're both one-on-one. They're not required to park those off-street because of it? Okay, then I will remove the condition of approval and move forward with the transportation permit second that Annie has modified, I think, right?
Yeah, I just make a motion to approve the transportation permit for Daniel Mello, DBA Catalina Island Golf Cart Rentals.
Second.
I'll second.
Okay. Further comments, or do you have any comments,
I
Kathy?
have no comments.
Okay. Call for the vote.
Councilmember Lavelle?
Aye.
Councilmember Schickling?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Ponce?
Aye.
Mayor Marshall?
Aye.
4 ayes, 1 absent. Councilmember De La Rosa?
And then if I could just ask if we can have golf cart tours come back as a discussion point at a future meeting to confirm how many golf cart tour companies we want to approve on the island, similar to what we do for transportation permits for e-bikes. That would be great.
Sounds good.
Yes. Okay. Now we shall be going to closed session. And we'll be there a little while, so I think.
And we have one closed session.
One closed session item. And I decided you didn't need to be there.
That's correct. That's what I was told, so. Good night, everyone.
Thank you. Nice to see
Good
you,
night, Scott. Thank you.
See you, Bob.
Bye.
We're back from closed session. No reportable action. Meeting's adjourned. Good night, Tony.